Hello, I'd like to speak to you about Mary Parker Follett, born in 1968, died in 1933. She was born in Quincy, Massachusetts, and attended Thayer Academy. She graduated at the age of 15 and attended what would later be named Radcliffe College. She interrupted Radcliffe to attend Cambridge University in England, where her interests broadened into law, political science, and government. Among her many acolytes of being a social worker, management theorist and consultant, political theorist, and philosopher, Mary was also an author. Her first book, The Speaker of the House of Representatives, was actually her Radcliffe thesis. This book gained the notice of President Teddy Roosevelt, who sought her out as his personal consultant on managing not-for-profits, NGOs, and voluntary organizations. After graduating, Ms. Follett was not accepted into Harvard as she was female. She became a social worker in the Roxbury neighborhood of Boston. Here she would observe how people interacted and functioned as a group. The phrase, "it takes a village to raise a child," is very much in line with what Ms. Follett was noticing. Still in her political stage of learning and theorizing, she stated that self and society are in a cycle in which they constantly help to create one another. She also was very opinionated that the purpose of government is not to preserve individual rights. Her new concept of democracy stated, "Democracy is a great spiritual force evolving itself from men, utilizing each, completing his incompleteness by weaving together all in the man-member community life, which is the true theophany." The collectivist democracy was to be built. She believed we could grow a new social conscience and live peacefully in a world state. This theory is what made many claim that Miss Follett was just too idealistic. This is a nice thought, but would never come to fruition. I am sorry to say I agree with this pessimistic attitude. We will never get everyone to cooperate and think as a group instead of me first. At this time, then, Ms. Follett chose to leave the political side and move into the business side of philosophy. She is quoted as saying, "There I found hope for the future. There men were not theorizing or dogmatizing, they were thinking of what they had actually done, and they were willing to try new ways. Instead of taking on the world state, she was concentrating on the organization or the corporation. She believed that being part of the whole, employees will improve quality of work because their interests are the same as the boss." She explained in her theories and her definition of management that management is getting things done through people. She had 4 principles for this management theory: direct contact, early stages, meaning that all employees are important all the way down to the first rung, reciprocal relationships, it is a team effort and continuous process. This style is continuous, not just learned and put aside. When you compare Ms. Follett's theory on management to scientific management, you can see the major differences. Scientific management concentrated on people as machines. They were showed the way to work, they were showed how it should be done, and expected it to be done that way. When problems arose, the blame game was easily started. Follett's theory had defined groups as mechanisms through which individuals could combine their talents for the greater good. Teamwork. Unfortunately, after her death in 1933, her theories were lost and forgotten. Not until around 1960 did they surface again. But if we look at the Japanese style of management, you will see the great similarities. The collective whole and every employee is important are in fact seen in Japanese management. The important ideas we can learn from Japan, according to Harvard Business Review, are the executive decisions, which are made throughout the corporation, not just by the top, corporate planning, worker productivity, and management training. When broken down, they are all very similar to Ms. Follett's 4 principles that we mentioned earlier. Mary was idealistic, but that doesn't mean she was wrong. I think she was well ahead of her time. I thank you for listening to my little speech. My references are listed on the last side. Thank you for your attention and have a great Easter. Goodbye.